Hey guys, how y'all doing today? My name is Franchise Fanatic, and welcome back to the channel. And today, with you guys, is yet another podcast with my good YouTube buddy, Recon Trooper.
Hey there, folks. Recon Trooper here, and if you're watching my thing, I hope you enjoy my Dying Light Old Town and TimeSplitters 2 gameplay.
TimeSplitters 2. I have not played that. I need to.
Well, then
I guess
you'll have to watch my thing after, right?
Yeah, I will. I mean, I've heard of it, but I've never seen it. But anyway, so we have a few topics I wanted to kind of bring to attention. But first and foremost, if you guys like this video, whether you're watching on my channel, Recon's channel, whatever it may be, make sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're new to both myself and Recon. And yeah, so without further ado, the new video game has come to our attention that we have been kind of hotly anticipating. And that is, of course, Dead Island 2. Now, if you guys don't know, this game has been kind of in development hell for a long time. And I'm not saying development hell because it's in Hell A. It's literally a gameplay term. And basically, this game, I believe, was announced in 2014. Then it got delayed and canceled once. And all the devs got switched and all that. And finally, it came out from Dambuster Studios. And it is now officially out. I've played it. Recon Trooper has played it. So, I'm pretty far into it, but Recon, why don't you start by telling me your thoughts, your opinions on Dead Island 2?
Well, first and foremost, like when we talked about Dying Light for the first time after I played it, of course, I'm going to start with the cons and then pros. So, a big con I found, firstly, is the storage locker where you can put some of your stuff in. It's very, very small compared to the first game, because in the first game you had like 120 spots that you can like fill up with weapons, whereas this game there's only 16, and of course half of those get filled once you have legendary weapons or weapons that you just can't sell or trash or whatever, and it's a real frustrating thing trying to decide, because you have so many good weapons. Like, I've got a bunch of weapons right now, and I'm really frustrated when I have to trash one just to make room for another one. And
yeah, I'm gonna be dead honest. I haven't even used the locker once.
Oh, well,
not a once. I update a weapon I like, and then I see another one that looks cooler, and I say screw it, and I throw the other one away, or I sell it or something,
But, so yeah, that's my first con about it, but I like that there's actually a thing that if you there's weapons that obviously, when you kill zombies, sometimes they drop them. And, if you don't pick them up, there's a thing in there that actually is called unclaimed property or something, and it's basically got every weapon that you didn't pick up or even touch at all, and it's got every single
that's cool.
Every single one of them is automatically added to the list. But of course, it's a one thing. Like, the second you interact with it, like you add it to your stash, or to your into your person, then that's it. You can't put it back in there, and so then that's when you start seeing all your spaces get taken up when you see all these weapons. And so I think
well, that kind of reminds me of like the Borderlands games, where I think in Borderlands you play Borderlands, right?
No, I've heard of it. It's got that guy with the gas mask on it.
Yeah.
That's all I know. That's all I know about it. A guy with a gas mask, and I think the second one has the guy holding both his hands to his throat, like holding two guns to his throat or something. But
yeah, there you go. So you know basically everything.
Yeah, totally. Is there a P90 in the game?
I think so. It's not called that, but I think so.
Too bad.
Yeah.
But anyway,
guess that's a no-go.
That's my first con, is that the locker space is really small. I hope in a future update they at least double or triple it to be at least 48 spaces, because
I don't know why it's so tiny.
In Dead Island 1, I've got so many weapons, and I've still got like 90 spaces left to fill.
Jeez.
And I can't really.
Yeah, I don't know.
For one thing, I can't do in Dead Island 1 that I can in Dead Island 2 is I can't change the the effect whenever I want. Like, that's what I do like about Dead Island 2, is if you get bored of like using a fire effect on a sword, you can just go to a workbench and swap it with like an electric effect instead. If you just want to try it that way for cool. For a change, whereas in Dead Island 1, you have to get like multiples of the same weapon to try each thing, and that's what I have. I've got so many like baseball bats and swords in Dead Island 1 that are all different, but it's because they have to, I'm trying to try everything out with them, or almost everything, and I can't just change when I feel like. So it's one thing that's good about Dead Island 2, at least. And another thing is that you can level the weapon up to match your level, even though it takes...
Yeah, that's really cool.
Takes a whole lot of money out, but, but it's... Fortunately, once you get to level 30, it's a one-and-done thing.
What do you mean?
Well, like, once you get to level 30, then that's the highest you have to get to a level. Like, you don't have to worry about leveling it up to 31 or anything after that.
Oh, so, I see. So 30 is the level cap.
Yeah, at least for now, unless, of course, they decide to say, hey, players, we're going to up the level a little more just to give you guys something more to do. And so keep all that money. You're going to need it on your weapons to level them up.
You're going to need your money.
Yeah. But
well, I never I mean, I don't... I think I'm level 29. I mean, I think I am level 30. I reached level 30 today. But you quickly mentioned the customization of like the weapons, so you can like kind of swap them out. Yeah. I think that's really cool. And again, I haven't played Dead Island 1, and I will soon.
It is still good. It is still good even after all this time, and even with Dead Island 2, it is still a good game though. Because I mean, obviously Sam B is in it. He's one of the characters you play as.
That's right. Yeah, so, I heard about that.
I've never played Riptide, and I'm not going to from all the bad things I've heard about it. But Dead Island 1 is still good, and even the locations are okay. Like the biggest one that I know of anyway is called the Jungle, and it's about as big as maybe at least 2/3 of the slums from Dying Light.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Like, it's obviously not as big as the countryside. I don't think anything is ever going to be as big as that. And, well, except maybe Dying Light 2's open world apparently is bigger than that and all the other ones combined or something, but...
Yeah. Yeah, it's Dying Light 2 is a stupidly big open world. I mean, that game I think that game works as an open world because of the parkour crap and the paraglider and whatever. But honestly, after playing Dead Island 2 for I don't know how many hours so far, I think that the smaller hub I think that the smaller hub worlds, I think that actually fits not only the tone but also just the world of that game better than just say one. You know, because like when people were like, "Oh, it's not open world. This is gonna be crap, and this is gonna suck, and whatever," I think that people kind of jump to conclusions. I mean, I don't know about you, but for me, the smaller hubs, because they're honestly not that tiny. Like people heard it's not open world, and they all freaked out and started crying and whatever. But I think that if you actually play
Dying Light stuff,
right? Yeah, exactly. I think that if you go into it expecting not a gigantic consecutive world, but smaller, like Borderlands, I guess.
Well, I think it
really works for that.
I was just expecting similar to Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga, because there's some big ones, some small ones, and of course you can't just run around the entire planet of anywhere. Like you're obviously restricted to a certain area, like the Rebel base on Yavin, or Echo Base on Hoth. You can't just go around the entire planet and, pack your backpack and say you're going to take a trip for a good year or something, exploring the planet.
Yeah, right.
But,
I wish you could do that. But
they're still big enough that, there's lots to run around and check out. So I was expecting something like that, and it's sort of like that. I mean, there's some big ones, some small ones, and, I think the biggest one, so as far as I can tell, is probably either the Beverly Hills or Venice Beach.
Yeah.
I was
just on Venice Beach like a half hour ago.
Yeah, the Venice Beach is it's like when you go from one side of the beach, just the beach, to the other, it's like going from the tower in Dying Light, in the slums, the safe zone.
Mm-hmm.
It's like going from there all the way to, I don't know, maybe like the one over by the water, just under the bridge.
It is a pretty good sized hub, I think. Yeah. I don't know, man. I genuinely love the hub worlds. Like the fact that, I'm still I finished the main campaign, so right now I'm just doing side quests and collectibles and all that. But just the fact that, for me, I'm kind of simple when it comes to gameplay. Like, if you can give me a cool open world to explore, like a genuinely fun, good looking world, give me awesome weapons or whatever, and respawning enemies, I'm good as gravy.
And get out of the way.
Like, not only the Exactly, yeah. The fact that not only like weapons respawn, but zombies respawn. I was in this one mansion in, I think it was Bel Air, and I was just exploring, and I'd find a room full of loot, and then I'd leave the room, and there's like 6 more zombies.
Yeah.
And I know some people don't like respawning enemies, but I think, especially for a zombie game, that's cool, because there's really no other NPCs.
I think the problem some people have with that is, like, when they're just trying to loot a place, like, they kill all the zombies inside a room, and then they're trying to loot it, and then all of a sudden the zombies are back within, like, 2 seconds, and, it's kind of understandable, whereas if maybe they were spawning sort of out of sight in a distance, and they sort of gave you a little time to loot before they got you, then that would be a little more better, but,
Yeah.
It's like, like, I don't know. It's like Dying Light, where you have areas you have to clear and the zombies constantly spawn, and
Yeah.
Dead Island 1 isn't quite so zombie spawny like that. Like, you do have, like, they do respawn, but you have to really, like, get away from the area after, and then, like, and then come back. Like, I was telling you about Dead Island 1, how there's a couple of gas stations you can go to, and you have to, like, go far away from the gas stations, like, really far away, in the resort open world section, and then come back for them to show up again. Like, they don't just spawn out of the sand, like in 2 or whatever.
Yeah, sometimes
pop
zombies
pop out of like sewer grates.
Yeah, sometimes zombies will just spawn right in front of my friggin' face.
So, but
it's like, all right.
Yeah, but
no, like you were saying, I think that the open world design is good. I think, like, even when I'm all done with the collectibles, like, even after I finish everything, like, I'll still run around the hub worlds. Yeah, like, it's just a fun game to be in and kill zombies and find new weapons and loot. Like, it's pretty addicting of a gameplay loop, I think.
Yeah, I actually started on another Slayer. A couple.
Who did you start as, and who are you?
Well, I started with Ryan. Because he's kind of just, I don't know, I think I just decided on him from the get-go, and it's not because of certain features. Except that maybe he's the closest thing to Sam B from the first game, in that he's kind of the big guy, so to speak.
Okay, I got you. All right.
Because that's what Sam B is. He's like the blunt weapons expert in Dead Island 1.
Yeah.
And then there's like an Asian woman that's a sharp weapons expert, and so on and so on.
Gotcha.
With the other
I picked
2.
Jacob.
Yeah. Well, that's the second guy I'm starting on now. And,
okay, that's cool.
Because I saw him in the trailer, and I figured I'd do him second if I ever decided to do it again.
I'm like, well, he's on the cover. Might as well.
Yeah. Might as well see what happens after the trailer, where he grabs his katana, right? And then he starts walking towards flaming Hell A.
Yeah. That's why I picked him. I was like, this is cool.
Yeah, you don't see what happens to him after that. So I figured might as well continue his story. But what I discovered was really good and relieving is that most of the challenges stick between the Slayers, so you don't have to do them all over again.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
So the only ones that you do have to do are kind of obvious ones, like you have to do the blueprint ones again, because obviously if you have them completed and on your person, it's kind of like, wow, I can be a vampire already.
Yeah, right. You don't want to be too overpowered.
And
from
then
the beginning.
there's the location challenges, and obviously, like if you're just starting off, like it's like you already know where every location, so I guess that's kind of understandable too. The only thing that is kind of frustrating is the Zompedia also resets. So you have to have to kill everybody again, have to get all those zombie kills and complete all the tiers of everyone, and it's a real pain, especially on the rare guys. That,
I know you're telling me.
Spend forever trying to find, like the ones that took me forever was the Eat Courier. It's kind of like the running zombie with the backpack on, and they drop food when you kill them. And that was like the last guy I had to do on Ryan. So
okay,
but yeah. Like,
so as far as negatives
on Ryan, I'm like 98% done. It's just the challenges. It's just the survivor challenges I have left to do, and two of them I'm sort of in the process of because they are taking so darn long. Because I gotta do 500. I have to scrap 500 weapons, and like that's total, and then I have to loot 3,000, like containers and stuff. And I'm at like maybe I think 1,300 right now. So
good luck.
but definitely the revival act, as it's called. That's the only one I obviously can't get on my own because it's co-op restricted. They have to do that.
Of course it is.
So, but
yeah, I mean, I guess I'd argue that it's not really built to be a co-op, but it is an option. But
yeah, well, they were the first time Dead Island was announced. They were planning an 8-player co-op, and Dambuster reduced it to 3-player. And there's an interview actually that was recently released. A video of them talking about how they were they wanted to focus more on fun instead of like trying to get overly complex with the game, because that's what they feel
Makes
like
sense.
a lot of modern games are like that nowadays, where they become so complex with everything that the people are trying to do that they become just train wrecks in the end or something.
Yeah, I've definitely had that happen.
But
So as far as other negatives, I have one or two.
Yeah.
If y'all don't mind. So my first one is more technical. I think that
the controls.
Well, no, I like the controls. I think that like there's one or two hubs. I think it's like Bel Air and maybe Venice Beach, where you're on the beach and the game. At least for me on my Series X, I don't know what console you guys are watching or
I'm
listening.
on one.
All right, which one are you on?
One.
Oh, Xbox One?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so even on my, I don't know if yours is worse or what have you, but for me on certain hubs, the game, it doesn't like lag, it just kind of like stutters, like it like skips a frame.
Yeah, it does that sometimes to me too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying. Hopefully they haven't had a patch yet, except for day one patch, so hopefully they're cooking something up in their little zombie oven there. But other than that, my only other issue is the points of interest. Now, I went through one of the hubs. I did all the missions, right? I did all the side stuff, whatever. And I swear to God, I thought I went through the entire thing. I'm like, oh man, okay, because they're not that big of hubs. I'm like, I did everything. I saw everything in this hub. I think it was Beverly Hills.
You needed to.
Yeah, I did everything, and then it's just like points of interest, 29 out of 41, and I'm like, what the fudge am I missing? Like I don't know, you know what I mean? Like maybe but like I don't know. I'm kind of going nuts here because I scoured the entire thing. I don't know what is covered under points of interest. It's just kind of wonky to me because
I don't know. Either,
it seems like I've
actually I wasn't really looking for. Was that for one of the challenges?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know then because I got the challenge and I wasn't really trying to. I was just kind of, trying to get as much as I could before finishing the campaign, because I wanted the campaign, like the main story thing, to be the last thing I had to do before I finished it. So I made sure to get all the side quests and stuff done beforehand. Just the side quests, because I made sure after I beat the story to get all the lockbox stuff and everything, because they're scattered everywhere. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I got to Hollywood Boulevard, and that's when the challenge popped, so I couldn't say for sure.
Yeah, it's just wonky, because it's like, oh, I went everywhere, I did everything, and maybe it's a glitch. I don't really know.
If you look
is there a difference?
If you look on the map, sometimes there's like a white question mark somewhere, and if you look on the map and you spot one, that's probably why, because it's basically an undiscovered area.
Okay,
so
I'll have to look, because there's a lot of black like sharpied out on the map. There's a lot of red sharpied out, looking like an X's.
That's just to let you know that you can't go that way.
Okay, that's what I thought. I was just like, maybe that's what it is. But yeah, that's my only other issue, is that is trying to complete it.
Did you have any?
It's kind of confusing.
Did you have any temperamental issues when it came to Butcho?
Butcho, is that the clown one?
Yeah.
No, I actually, I mean, I don't want to. I got it the first time, but I mean, I did. It took me a minute though, because I wasn't used to the fact that he was so effing fast, and the fact that he could, like, I don't know what he's doing, like suck the energy out of another like corpse to heal himself. That kind of pissed me off, but
yeah, he munches on them, and
yeah,
I died like maybe 3 or 4 times before finally getting him. I learned that I needed to get a frenzy weapon. And so I got my guitars. They're kind of look like brass knuckles, but they got long blades on them.
Yeah.
Kind of the shape of a horse, a long horseshoe almost. And I put
I think I had those on my inventory.
Yeah, I put the electrocutioner thing on those, and I also got the I don't know if you got this, the electric shuriken.
Electric not yet. I do have an electric pistol though.
Yeah, I got
which helps against those guys.
I had the electric shuriken too, and so that's kind of what I did. What I was doing, I was trying. If you throw because when you throw a shuriken, then it throws 3 of them at once. And if you stand right up close to the guy, you basically throw all 3 of them at him. And I use the electric shuriken on him to get the electric effect started, and then I help it out with my guitars, and eventually I finally beat the heck out of him, so he died. And that's how I did it with Ryan, but it's a real pain when, zombies aren't supposed to run away like that, That's
it's like you punch him.
That's the player's job to do.
Yeah, you punch him in the face, he runs away like a little schoolgirl, and then munches on some other guy's arm for a minute, and then he's like back to full health. Yeah. Drives me insane.
So, but I learned that it's if you use a firearm on him, like a machine pistol, apparently it helps out a little bit. So I'm gonna make sure to do that with Jacob next time when I fight him again, because I've only just started, so I just finished the Bridezilla thing. So
okay, yeah.
I'm just getting started, getting ready to do the search for Michael, the whole search for Michael thing. So
gotcha.
Yeah, so I'm about to
while we're on that,
Beverly Hills.
What's your What's your opinion on the story now that we've both beaten the story? What are your thoughts on like the writing, the voice acting, just the plot?
Well,
what are your thoughts on that? Because most people don't play zombie games for the story.
Yeah, well, to be honest, I didn't mind the story. I mean, it's definitely better than Dead Island 1, because in that one there's like only like maybe 6 cutscenes in the whole thing.
Oh wow.
Well, unless you count more than 6, because there's a small cutscene when each of the Apex guys is introduced.
I see.
But then, yeah, there's also a couple of of cutscenes later on, but overall it's not like in this one where your guy is at least talking when something's happening.
Yeah,
it's kind of just
Jacob talks.
Yeah, it's kind of just
so
like you
much.
go from one area to another, and like it's like the people that you're talking to are the ones who are doing the story for you. Like all you do is the zombie slaying. They do all the talking. But in this one, I think it's a little better because your guy is actually not only interacting with who he's talking to, or she, I should say. But it's just a little better too because in this one, it's about finding a cure and an escape, and whereas in the first one it was just about getting off Banoi. And so
Banoi?
Banoi, Banoi, like the Banoi pack that you probably got with your Helle edition.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah, that's what the island is called in Dead Island 1.
Okay, that makes more sense now.
Yeah. So
I was like, "What the hell is a Banoi?"
I think it's a good story. It's a little better than the first one, although the first one isn't too bad either. I mean, it's not as easy a story to follow because, like I said, there's barely any dialogue and there's barely any cutscenes, but it's still overall pretty decent. And
well, that's good.
Yeah, and
yeah, because not a lot of people,
it's hard to tell.
A lot of people
exactly.
go, "Oh, it's passable."
Yeah, it's hard to tell exactly, but Ryan sort of sounds a lot like Kyle
from the first game.
From Dying Light 1, Kyle Crane.
Oh, Kyle Crane. Okay, yeah.
His voice, I don't know if it's the same voice actor or not, but it sounds similar anyway.
Okay.
So
I'll have to keep my ear out.
Yeah, it's not. I don't think the voice acting's that bad, though. I mean, I don't pay attention to the voice acting a whole lot. I just kind of pay attention to the dialogue.
Yeah.
And, like, sometimes it's a tricky thing because, when my mom is home alone with me, she's got her laptop's volume on at like such a high thing I have to stand next to the TV to actually hear anything. She only puts her headphones on when my dad's home for some reason. But
just pretend your dad's home. Be like, "Oh, hey, Dad."
That's not going to work. Cause
put the earbuds in, Mom.
Usually my dad's truck is here when he's home, so.
Well, because I don't know, buy a truck or something.
But anyway, yeah, I think it's a pretty decent story. Another con that I found is you could only have 5 med kits, and that's just...
Yeah, that is kind of sucky.
Like, what the heck is that supposed to do when you're fighting a big boss? I mean, I understand being strategic and all, but come on. 5 pathetic med kits, and you can't always block. You can't always time your dodges or blocks on regular zombies and do the counter attack in order to regain health very much. Like all the time.
No, yeah, I agree.
Because
I have a feeling they might patch that when they do the first patch. At least give you like 7.
Well, more like 20. I think 20 would be fine.
20.
Yeah, not.
It's gonna be 50.
Not like in Dying Light where you can just have like 99 things of 99.
Yeah.
But I think 20 would be better than 5 because, especially if you're new to the game entirely, and you're just like a newcomer, and you're like, oh, I think this would be a cool zombie game to play. Like you don't even know anything about Dead Island or anything. You just want a zombie game to play, and like you don't understand what you're supposed to do all the time and stuff, and you need med kits.
Yeah, you don't want to die the whole time.
Like. They're basically saying if you're not used to the game, then that's your loss.
You're
stuck
stupid.
with 5.
Yeah.
So
it's like that was like me with Elden Ring. I never played a From Software game before, so I was like, this can't be that bad. And, oh my god, it was bad.
Yeah.
I beat it. I mean, I did it, but I mean that was a hard friggin' thing to do. So yeah, for like if like all you play is Lego games or like Mario games, and then you play this, it's gonna be a rude awakening for sure.
Yeah.
So I think having
It's
more
like
than
you
5
said,
would definitely.
It's like you said when Fallen Order came out, that it's not the same as Force Unleashed. If you think it's like Force Unleashed, you're gonna die.
A lot.
You know, so because for one thing, you can't use Force Lightning like a madman in Force Unleashed. So
yeah, you can't spam it. Speaking of spamming, were there any moments of rage quit? Because I was talking with Echo Killshot the other day, and he was playing. It was coincidentally enough, he was playing the Force Unleashed 1, and he was doing a boss fight against I think Mara Jade or something like that on Felucia, Shock T's apprentice, and I was on the phone, and he was just rage quitting to
Maris Brood?
Crazy rage quitting. Yeah, that's it. I'm sorry, not Mara Jade. Yeah, that's it.
Mara
he was
Jade
just like,
is Legends right now, so
I know. I knew it was something like that. But he was freaking out. He was raging, and I think it'd be a good little story time. Are there any rage moments? Because I've had a few.
In this game or just in general?
We'll do both.
Okay. Well, in Dead Island 2, not so much. Yeah. I mean, I've been getting frustrated, of course, because, like we were talking about Butcho, and, there's another butcher that you have to fight that's similar in Monarch Studios, because you gotta go search for this guy that's dressed as a space crusader or something.
Oh, yeah, I've done that mission, yeah.
And there's this butcher you have to fight, and he's a lot like Butcho. He takes forever to die, and he runs off like a little thing when he's like, oh, wait a second, I gotta go find some health,
Yeah.
Like,
scurries around like Gollum looking for to chew on someone's arm.
So yeah, those are kind of frustrating, and it's a little frustrating when I just die and I've almost killed like someone I'm trying to kill because they've got a key or whatever, and then I have to spawn, and then the guy is still there, and all I have to do is hit him once, and then I'm like, I shouldn't have had to die just to do that,
Yeah, I know. I hate when you die in the game. Sometimes it spawns you like on the opposite side of the friggin' town, and you gotta run like an idiot all the way to like do that one hit.
But I wouldn't say rage quit, so to speak. I mean, there was a moment when I was trying to what was it? It's the mission. I don't know if you did it yet. It's the mission where you have to go into the zombie gut, so to speak, in the sewers, and you have to look for a bunch of seismic devices and activate them or something.
Was that a story mission?
No, it's a side mission. It's after you beat the story.
I probably didn't do it yet.
It's in the house in Bel Air where Emma and all the gang are.
Oh, okay.
And there's a woman on a laptop, and she gives you this mission to go look for these seismic devices. Like, they're supposed to be like survey devices or something. I don't know. And you have to go back into the sewers, and you have to go into that zombie gut-looking thing. And it's a real pain because that thing is like a maze. You can't find a single darn thing in there.
I know.
Except zombies, of course, that are just constantly getting in your face, and you're just like, get out of my face already, you darn annoyance.
Yeah, I know.
But I did quit because my mom's show was on, so that's kind of...
I won't count that as a rage quit, though.
Yeah, because I was getting frustrated with it, and it was on the last one. Like, that's where the last one is in the zombie gut. The first 3 aren't so bad, but it's the last one that's the problem, and it's a real annoyance too when you get those moments where you have to search an entire room for something instead of it just like having... That's one thing I like about in this game is when something of interest you can grab, it has like a white thing above it indicating you can...
Yeah, that's helpful.
And it's too bad they don't have something similar to that. Not necessarily the exact same thing, but similar for objectives of interest in a room that you have to search. You know, it's what I miss about Dying Light, actually, the survivor sense.
I know, dude. You have no freaking clue. Like, there are times where I'm like, "What am I doing? Where is this last like?"
No,
I think there was one mission where I had to find like a CD for some weirdo guy, Ricky or whatever his name is, and he I looked throughout that mansion for like 2 years, and I'm like, I need my sense, or what? Oh man.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a few little annoyances here or there, but I genuinely think it's a really good product.
Yeah.
I mean, I paid $100 for it. I didn't want to, but they only had one version. So, and my dad gave me 100, so I was like, F it, why not? But
don't waste
I don't
it.
regret it. I think it's a really good game. Yeah, exactly. I think it's a good game. I mean, I do think there are some things they got to fix.
Yeah,
particularly the stuttering and
there's actually
but
I came across a couple of glitches actually. One happened to me a couple of times actually, but the first time was worse because I actually died. When you do a counterattack on when I did a counterattack, I should say, I don't know if it'll happen to you. But on the swarm walker, the bug swarm guy.
Oh yeah.
I did a counterattack on one of them, and I ended up going through the mountain. And then when I finished killing him, I fell to a black floor and died.
That does not sound fun.
And then the second time, it almost happened again, but it didn't. Like,
that's good.
I killed the zombie, and
I
came back to on solid ground again. So, but
well, that's good at least.
I think it's just a really dumb thing that they need to fix, and there's also some things too that a lot of people are saying they need to fix the weapons too, because it's kind of ridiculous when you have like a fire axe and you hit a firefighter zombie and he's immune to the fire. Like, if you have the fire effect on it, and he's immune to that. But, like, he shouldn't be immune to the darn axe.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, if you get hit with an axe, and you got fire retardants scattered all over you, are you gonna survive when it goes into your chest?
I guess that zombie can't. Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's a glitch for sure.
Kind of defeats the whole point of it. And I mean, there's also, like, you have bleeding things on baseball bats that, spiky zombies can't get hurt from, but surely they can still get whacked in the face by a baseball bat and feel that.
You would think. Maybe these are like special zombies, I don't know. I'm assuming it's a glitch. So yeah, there's stuff they gotta patch, but overall, I mean, you've played Dead Island 1.
Yeah.
I don't know how many hours, but as far as 1 and 2...
The problem with...
Well, what's your favorite one, if you had to pick between the two?
That's a tough one, because there's so many good things about Dead Island 1 that Dead Island 2 is lacking in terms of...
Yeah, it's true.
Certain things. And then, of course, Dead Island 2 has, like, the look of the game looks good, and the weapons are...
It looks phenomenal.
Pretty decent, and, but...
the gore is good.
Yeah. And so, I don't know. I mean, it's a draw as far as I'm concerned. Well,
that's still good.
Even the locations are good, because, like I said, Dead Island 1... the locations aren't as big as Dying Light, but they're still, like, the two biggest locations are the resort, where you start off, and then the jungle is where you eventually end up at some point. It's not the last one, but it's, like, one of them that you end up in, and those are probably the biggest of all of them. And then there's, like, there's a place called the Laboratory, and if you watched our previous podcasts when I posted them, you'll see me running around the laboratory before going into the city.
It's
kind of like right at the start. It's kind of like kind of looks like a jungle with a bunch of labs all over that I'm running around. But that's basically the laboratory, and it's about as big as it's probably about as big as one of the maps from Dead Island 2. It's not a massive thing, but it's still big enough to run around, and probably slightly bigger because you can drive vehicles in it too. But
yeah, that's one thing I did know that I wish Dead Island 2 did. I know they explained it like, oh, the city, it's whatever blocked, but like they give you, there's literally like 15 cars on the beach, and I can't drive them. Like that's kind of wonky.
Yeah, and some of them are massive trucks, so.
Yeah, I don't get it. It's weird. Again, there's some weird little oversights in this game, but overall, though, I do think that it's worth buying.
Yeah.
Story, not the best thing in the world, but it's serviceable, it's passable.
Yeah.
Emma's kind of hot, I guess, so there's that. And then you've got, what else? Combat. So as far as the controls,
I like the.
What do you think about that?
Well, the controls. My only con is that you can't fully customize them. Like, you can't switch, like, the B and X buttons around or anything. Like, they have, certain names for specific control settings. And it's kind of sucks. Because I was trying to turn the controls back to Dead Island 1 controls. But I can't, I guess, do that. But
So what's the difference between the two?
Well,
control-wise? No, on an Xbox controller, for everyone listening.
Well, the kick button is the left bumper.
Okay.
What else?
What about like the attack? Is the attack still RT?
Yeah, the attack.
Okay.
And the ADS are both still the same.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think it was the D-pad that was how you select your weapons.
Oh, all right.
Or I forget. I think that was it. I haven't played Dead Island 1 in a while, so I forget most of it.
Yeah.
Some of it, but yeah, I can't remember what I think the crouch button is the left thumbstick. And
okay, so just certain changes. It's not like a totally different thing altogether.
Like the buttons on the med kits is the B button.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, med kits are the B button. The flashlight's the same.
Of course, right?
Yeah, of course. But yeah, it's not. I've adapted, but I would say I had trouble with the controls at first because I was so used to Dying Light after that. By that point,
I know.
So the jump button I'm pressing,
funny you say that.
Why the heck am I not jumping with this darn thing? Why is it throwing a stupid meat bait?
Yeah, I know. It's funny because Dying Light 2 recently got a new
do again in Dying Light.
A button. I think that's how you heal. I think you hold the A button.
Oh, okay. No, that's the Survivor Sense.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't know then.
Okay.
It does something.
But anyway, so.
But no, it's funny you say that because I've been playing the Dying Light 2 got a new update I think they got an update like the day before Dead Island 2 came out, and they were like, this is Dying Light 2 is getting a new gore system. It's going to rival Dead Island 2. It doesn't. It's still good, though. Physics, the combat in Dying Light 2 is a lot better now. It's way more fun. But it's funny because I'm so used. I think I'm close to 100 hours in Dying Light 2. It's one of my favorite games of all time. And after, as soon as I started playing Dead Island 2, I was like, wait a minute, something's off here. This is weird. Like, it took me a minute. Normally that doesn't happen with games. Like, for me, I can switch between a Lego game to Call of Duty to GTA 5, and I'm like, oh, this is no sweat. But these two zombie games, they really messed me up.
Yeah, so.
Because I'm so used to the parkour, I'm used to jumping off the rooftops like an idiot.
Yeah.
So in Dead Island, there really isn't any parkour, so it took me a minute.
Yeah, and there's also, the kick button was a little difficult to get done because it was kind of, I think it's the same. Actually, it's the same button on both Dead Island 1 and Dying Light 1. I think is the kick button.
You mean like just kicking or like the drop kick?
Well, kicking, drop kick, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like in Dead Island 1, you can. It's not really a drop kick, but you can jump and kick while in the air, and it knocks a zombie down. It doesn't make them fly back, but it knocks them down. And then Dying Light 1, obviously you know that, and
Get that name right.
Yeah, I know.
It's tough.
Maybe, but yeah, the kick was a little challenging to get right at first, but now I'm sort of used to it, and
oh yeah, same. It just took a minute, but now as far as I'm glad we're both liking Dead Island 2 because I think it's really fun. I'm still, again, my only issue is the stuttering and the point of interest. I have no flipping idea how to find the other points of interest, but it's still fun. Jedi Survivor has recently come out, and have you played Fallen Order?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
right. I have
all
the achievements on it and everything, so I must have played it.
Ooh, that's yeah. I would say you have played it then. Now for Survivor, I don't think it's even on Xbox One, but I was gonna get it right. I'm like, oh, it's canon. It's gonna be sweet. I like Cal Kestis. I like the first game. I like the Elden Ring style combat. This is gonna be dope. And it comes out. And I read the reviews, and they're all saying it's broken, it's janky, it's a complete mess. Don't buy it. It's garbage, trash game. And I'm like, oh, this isn't good. Apparently, they fixed it. They patched it and they fixed it a little bit.
They fixed it. It looks like a computer game now.
Yeah, exactly. Now it looks like a PS1 game. Yeah, they made it look like a PS1 title, but it's just really weird because, like, first of all, $70, right? Not everyone has 70 bones just to throw around. Second, I heard it's pretty broken. Third, on Series X, it's 150 gigabytes. Now, mind you, this is not some gigantic open world title. This is, still a big. It's like, I guess it's like Dead Island 2 or Borderlands, where they're like, smaller hubs. But 100, like, I can understand Call of Duty. For some reason, all you do in COD is shoot terrorists in the friggin' face, and that's like 5,000 gigabytes. But, GTA 5 is like 50. I don't get it. But Jedi Survivor being 150 gigabytes, I mean, that's insane.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that, wow.
I'm glad I don't have a Series X yet, then.
Yeah. Yeah, be glad, because I want to get it, but I have to deal with this stuff.
Yeah.
Because they're interviewed, and they're like, oh, it's 4K. That's what it's like. I don't care about 4K. I just want to play it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's kind of rough, but once they fix the performance,
I never had any interest in Survivor because I guess for one thing, I had a lot of frustrating times on certain Fallen Order as it is, but
on Fallen Order.
Yeah, but
yeah, definitely a tough game.
And stuff but I'd have to say I don't know. I don't know if I could get all the achievements on that one, especially if they make a bunch of, really ridiculous ones, like having to beat the last boss without dying.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know if I could do that. Because, look, I don't know have you ever played like an Elden Ring or a Dark Souls game?
No.
Okay, my advice is to not do that.
Okay.
Because Elden Ring is a friggin' masterpiece. Don't get me wrong. I don't think Elden Ring should have won Game of the Year, because for me it stutters pretty bad, which is my only issue with it, and they still haven't fixed it. Kind of sucks. As you can tell, for everyone listening, I'm not some kind of I'm not a purist where I'm like, oh, it has to be flawless. But if you're going to advertise your game to be 30 or 60 FPS, make sure it does that, all right? Don't give me this crap where it's like, oh, it's 40. Oh, it's actually 10 in this area. Like, no, just make it work. So, other than that, but yeah, Elden Ring is a tough game. Like, I remember beating the final boss of that game. I won't spoil it just in case in some crazy reality you buy it. But and for anyone else
I don't
watching,
care if you spoil it for me, but
okay. Well, I won't, just in case.
Is this a game that Echo's playing?
Well, Echo's trying to play it. He can't beat the first boss.
So don't spoil it for him because he's already got enough frustration without being spoiled. So
yeah. Well, it's called the Elden Beast, and there's the way they do it is there's 2 bosses.
Yeah.
So you kill the first boss, and then there's a cutscene, and then there's a second boss. The problem is that there's no save. So I spent probably 45 minutes on the first guy, got to the second one, died, and I had to redo the first one again.
And that's what Echo's dealing with?
Well, not quite. The first boss is Margit the Fell Omen.
Okay.
That's I think it's his name, Margit the Fell Omen, and it's actually not that. I try not to say this to him because I'm probably piss him off, but it's actually not that hard of a boss. I'm sorry, Echo, if you're listening. It's not a skill issue. It's just it is what it is.
Well,
but
I'm sure a lot of pro players would say the same thing about other games that people that aren't used to it would, but
exactly,
it's okay. I mean, I'm not
again, like I said,
I'm not a Call of Duty obsessor. I don't play Call of Duty, 24/7, 365. So, I'm not in the zone of being able to do almost perfect games every time,
Exactly. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's definitely about that for sure. Yeah, it's not just skill, but yeah, I mean, I oh my god, like I almost threw the control out the window. I thought it was going to be World War III in my family room because it was crazy.
Yeah.
I did it finally. It took me, I think, about a week. I think, because I had midterms or whatever. But it was funny because I beat him the day before Lego Star Wars came out. So once I killed that stupid thing, and then I got Lego Star Wars, I was like, finally, an easy game.
Yeah.
Easier game.
So, but yeah, back to Survivor.
Fallen Order definitely.
Back to Survivor. Another thing that I discovered, actually, I think it was last week, was that apparently you can use a blaster in this one.
Yeah, apparently there's Echo has it. There's different.
I'm thinking that's not right. No Jedi should use a blaster. Not even, I mean, Obi-Wan had the exception because he didn't have a saber with him, and Grievous was just a maniacal droid that probably wouldn't know how to block a laser bolt anyway, even though in games he can. But
that's true. Or like Ezra Bridger. I don't know if you saw the animated show Rebels. Ezra.
No, I know about it. I know about it.
He has a lightsaber and a blaster. It's like combined in one.
Yeah.
But apparently Echo has Survivor and he beat it. I mean, he has 0 issues with it, so I don't know what the internet's doing.
Well.
So who knows? But he was saying that the blaster thing that's actually like in the game, there's different like how like Obi-Wan has like the 2-finger thing, and there's like different Jedi stances, if you will.
Yeah.
Cal Kestis can use the different stances, and the blaster's one of them. So one day when I get it, I'll have to inform you guys more. But from what I understand, there's the stances you can unlock, which that's kind of cool.
But and then of course the third thing that you just mentioned while we were talking about it, apparently it's not on Xbox One. So, and I even looked it up. Apparently it's because they no longer need to support Xbox One or PlayStation 4. So, I mean, I guess it's, everybody kind of saw that time coming when Xbox One and PS4 were going to be just distant memories. But
yeah, but I don't know. I mean, Hogwarts Legacy just came out on the Xbox One and PS4 today.
Yeah.
Well, at the time of recording this.
But
I think that's BS. I don't think that's true. I mean, yeah, they're from 2013, but let's also remember that 2 years ago or a year ago, PS5 Series X and S, man, they were like near impossible to get. Like I got my Series X from eBay from a friggin' scalper. I thought he was gonna come to my house and kill me. So I mean, it was pretty desperate. And plus, these things aren't cheap.
No.
So I think that's kind of I don't buy that. I think a lot of people are. A lot of people like to take the Xbox One and PS4 out and go, oh, well, you're poor. You can't afford it. It's like, maybe that's not the reason. Maybe you just don't want to get it. I mean, there's so much going into it.
So
I hate that when, like, these especially PC people, not all of them, but a lot of them are like, oh, well, how come you can't afford a 3090? It's like, because I'm not a billionaire. You know what I mean? Like, not everyone can just dump money into this.
Yeah, as nice as it would be. But
yeah.
So, but yeah. So next topic. Actually, you brought it up, and it's on my list here. You mentioned Hogwarts Legacy. So, I'm not planning on getting it because I'm not much of a Harry Potter person, but I wanted to know what you think of it. Like, is it more Harry Potter than Fantastic Beasts? Do they say everything every time they do a spell? You know, like, what's it? How do you think about it?
So on my Series X, I have my one issue is, of course, the stuttering. So if you play the game at 60 FPS mode, it's a no. You got to play 30 FPS. Quality mode is the best because it doesn't run that bad. But in terms of the game, I love Harry Potter. I like Fantastic Beasts. I think those 3 movies are good. I think they should have made it. I don't think they should have canceled it. But this Hogwarts Legacy campaign is 100 times better than the Fantastic Beasts films. 100 times. Okay. Easily, I recommend the Hogwarts Legacy game over Fantastic Beasts movie. In terms of story and narrative, it's funny, you wouldn't think that, but yeah, the game takes the cake. Now, as far as the characters, that was kind of my worry, because I don't want to hear the guy say "rich guy" like a million times. And they kind of do it, but it's not that bad. I think if you're like spamming.
This is like when you cast a spell. They say the magic words every time, or
yeah, not every time. So like if
basically your Patronum or whatever the heck they say in the movie.
Yeah. So when you're using your spell on like non-enemies, basically the spell's on like it's on like a weapon wheel type thing with a cooldown, and if you're just using it on like environment to get collectibles or whatever, they'll say like stupefy, and then they'll stop. Okay. If you just spam it. But when you're fighting enemies, the cooldown is a lot slower. Yeah.
So they say stupefy, stupid enemy, stupefy.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't do it. It's not that bad. Okay. Because if it was, I'd be a little annoyed.
I could understand if it was that bad, though. I mean, if you're frustrated with a boss or something, then surely your character is, and they're just like, stupefy, darn it, stupefy already. Yeah.
Big no, because in the movies they do that. They'll be like stupefy. It's whatever. But honestly though, like as a Harry Potter fan, this Hogwarts Legacy is like the Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga for Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Like I played the new update. It does performance wise judder a little bit. Which they'll have to. I hate gaming because they're like, oh, we patched it, and then they make it worse. So you got to patch the patch. But anyway,
it's like when
the Hogwarts.
It's like a road when you get a pothole, you cover one, and then you discover 3 more down the road, and
exactly,
just repave the darn thing, okay?
Yeah, we'll patch the patch. Don't worry about it. But yeah, I think that the what is it? Like the open world itself is phenomenal. Yeah. The castle is huge. Going to class is fun.
Is it the same castle as in Harry Potter?
Oh yeah, yep. I mean, this game is apparently not canon. I think that's garbage because it's anything but canon.
Video games that you enjoy don't have to be canon for you to enjoy them. I mean, look at Force Unleashed.
Oh yeah. That's true.
That is true. It's not canon, even though the story still sort of fits within the canon if you think about it. And I mean, it's still before A New Hope. It's when Princess Leia is like 16 years old or whatever she is in a darn game.
Yeah.
It's and Bale's still alive. He didn't get decimated yet on his planet, so
that's true. That is true. But no, yeah, the castle. This game is set in the 1800s, so it's before Ron. It's before anyone's even born. I think Dumbledore's like a preteen or something. But
so this is even before
the castle's
Fantastic Beasts.
Yes, I believe it is. Wow. Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but for anyone listening, but I think
that's why it's called Legacy, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's cool because you're the main character. Obviously, you can pick a boy or girl, and I think that's cool. But
among other things, probably.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, there's so much to love about it. I mean, the combat's good, the story's good, graphics are good. when it runs good, it runs good.
Do you get into
what else?
Do you get into wand duels like in I think it was in Deathly Hallows when Voldemort and Harry were in that wand lock.
Yes, there is. In the end, there's a few. That's more like a boss battle type of thing.
Oh yeah.
Most of the, a lot of like the when you're fighting a troll or a goblin or a poacher, it's more like
Stupefy.
So basically, it's Stupefy and Protego. You're gonna hear that word a hell of a lot. So if you don't like the word Protego, you're out of luck.
Yeah.
For the first half of the game, I thought he was screaming potato. That's just me, but it's Protego.
Okay.
So it's basically like the combat is you can hit the B button on Xbox to dodge roll. Think of like Elden Ring, for example, or Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah.
And then you can hit the Y button to counter, like Arkham or whatever, Shadow of War, and that is like your potato Protego. That's what I call it. So the combat's really good, actually, and the open world's great. Replay value's good. So yeah, I think it's a win.
Oh yeah. So, how would you describe?
You also don't have to
like,
love.
Do you have to like travel between certain areas in the open world, or is it all one thing? Like, is it like Dead Island 2 where you have to traverse between areas, or is it all one thing? You just go from the castle all the way to the spider nest in the forest, and then go all the way from there to the prison of Azkaban or whatever.
Yeah, so the Hogwarts castle, the Forbidden Forest, Hogsmeade, the wilderness, everything. It's all one consecutive open world. So if you're in the Hogwarts castle and you run out the door, you can get on a broom or a hippogriff and you could just fly to Hogsmeade. There's no loading screen.
That's good.
It's really, really cool.
It's
it's really, really
more
seamless.
like Dying Light 2 then, hey? In terms of scale and scope.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's crazy. Like these, I've never heard of these devs. This is I think the last game these developers made, they were under a new name. They were under Avalanche, I think, or something else, and they made Cars 3 Driven to Win, the video game.
Oh, yeah.
I had that game. It's not too bad, but Cars 3, the video game, to Hogwarts Legacy, that's quite a boost.
Yeah.
So it's really, really, it's unprecedented what they were able to do. For being basically nobodies to make one of the best-selling and highest-rated games of all time. It's pretty cool,
Yeah.
And you don't have to be a diehard Harry Potter fan to like it. I think if you can stomach the lore,
if you just like magic stuff, basically.
Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly. I think you'd like it. I beat everything in 77 hours.
Yeah.
So it's not the longest game I ever played, but it's going to sink some time into it, but I enjoyed it.
Well, they should be supporting it then if it's only that long, because, I'm sure there's lots of things they could do.
I think they are. I don't know if it's going to be like crazy big DLC.
Is the Azkaban prison in there? Because if not, they could.
So as far as I know.
That.
Yeah, so as far as I'm aware, I picked Ravenclaw, the house, and I believe Hufflepuff is the Hufflepuff. So basically, every house that you're picked, either Ravenclaw, Hufflepuff, Slytherin, Gryffindor, depending on what house you get, there's a unique mission. So my Ravenclaw mission, I don't know what the heck it was, but apparently if you're a Hufflepuff, that's the mission where you go to Azkaban. So myself, I'm going to have to redo it as a Hufflepuff to do that, but Azkaban is not a place you can just go to.
They could come up with more missions that, like, they're not the same missions that are exclusive, but they could be a different mission that go to those places that are exclusive at one point. So, like, it's not necessarily the same mission to get to that you have to do at Azkaban, but you still go there.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. I could see them doing
you're
something
right.
like that.
There's a lot of potential to come from this, for sure. The Harry Potter mythos is so stacked full of lore and crap. You'd be stupid not to add on to this. It's such a success.
Yeah.
Everyone basically loves it. I know people had their little woke tantrums before it came out, and they were boycotting it and all that crap. But as far as like the results,
they weren't because they weren't successful. So.
Oh yeah, no, that blew up in their face. I think that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, boycott it! And then they're like, yeah, this is actually the best-selling game ever, actually.
Yeah. Well,
But
sounds like an interesting.
so
game,
anyway,
though.
we are Jesus. We're over an hour.
Yeah.
So if we have one more short topic, and my PC's about to die, and I'm not near an outlet.
That's
so if you
fine.
have another short topic, we can hear it. If not, we'll save it for next time. But what are you thinking?
Well,
Want to do one more small topic?
Did you have another topic you wanted to talk about? TimeSplitters 2?
We can do that, yeah, for a
Okay.
few minutes. Yeah, why not?
I've got 2 others, but they can be for next time. Yeah, because they're not. I don't even have gameplay for the one, and the other is just another movie. So.
Okay. Something for everyone to look forward to.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so TimeSplitters 2 is an original Xbox game that is on the store.
Okay.
So that's where I got it from, and it's actually a pretty good game. It's got very blood-boiling challenges in it at times. But,
Okay.
But it's pretty good, and it's got it kind of looks more like a cartoon type game.
Okay, I see. I get it. Okay.
A 3-dimensional cartoon, and it has bots in it. There's no well, this is before Xbox Live became a reality, so there's no online.
Oh, so it's
stuff.
that old.
Yeah. So, but there's bots in multiplayer, and there's characters. There's characters galore that you can choose from, so long as you're able to unlock them, because that's what makes the challenges even more frustrating when you're trying to get a specific character unlocked, so you can either use him yourself or just have him on your team in custom games, or arcade as it's called. Yeah, it's pretty fun. It's got lots of cool weapons in it. Like there is a weapon that looks a lot like a P90. It's called an SBP90 or something.
Okay. Close enough.
You'll probably see it in my gameplay. You'll probably notice it when you think P90. You'll see it. There's some characters that are kind of goofy in it. So there's like a gingerbread man.
That is goofy.
Yeah, there's a dinosaur.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and basically the dinosaur is a T-Rex, and so the gun floats in front of him the whole time. He doesn't actually grab it.
That makes sense, yeah.
And his mouth is always open, so when you choose him, you just see this big green guy with a giant mouth open and 2 small arms sticking out of his chest.
Well, if I saw that thing coming at me with an assault rifle, I'd probably pee my pants and die out of fright, so...
But yeah, it's I haven't completed the story quite yet. I kind of played it up to a certain point and then just got more interested in just playing custom games because I didn't care about the story. It's one of those games that the story is kind of hard to follow. You're just kind of playing it to get through it and unlock whatever you can at the end.
Yeah.
But
yeah, there's a game I have called Unreal Tournament 3.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. It's old. It's got offline bots. It's got a story. I'm not gonna even do the story. I don't even care. I'm just playing bots.
That's where you were playing. I think a couple of podcasts ago, right?
Yes. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. It's actually it's kind of like that, just a little less quality in terms of its appearance.
Okay. So it's older than that.
Yeah, it's the original Xbox. It's like, I don't know, 2001 or 2003. Somewhere
That's
around
crazy.
there. But before Xbox Live became a thing, so it didn't have it yet. But
that's funny. It's weird to think about that even like being a thing, because everything's online now,
So, but yeah,
that's crazy.
It's fun, and you can choose what weapon you want to start. Like, you can choose up to 5 weapons that you want to have in the map, and you can choose them in any order. So, if you want everybody to start with a rocket launcher first, and then the last weapon, like number 5, is a pistol, you can do that. But
Oh, that's cool.
you can even fight with fire extinguishers, even though they don't do anything unless you're on fire.
Yeah, it makes sense.
They kind of just spray them at each other and don't do anything otherwise.
Yeah.
So,
are there cheat codes?
There's not cheat codes, but there are cheats. Like one of them is you have to unlock them, of course. But one of them is big head mode.
Oh.
And another is, or no, I think it was big hands. Yeah, big hands mode. And then another was turning heads mode, where their heads spin at a rapid pace the whole time. And
just give you nightmare fuel. Why not?
But there's some characters that don't have a head, so they're not able to do that. Like there's one robot guy that has a head similar to like a super battle droid, so he's not able to do that. But anyone else that has a head, you just see in the game, you just see them spinning like wind turbines.
Yeah. That's funny. You just gotta add the sound effect, and you're good.
There's also a paintball mode. And,
ooh.
I forget what else there was. There's one called cardboard mode, where they kind of look like two-dimensional characters. So when you see them coming at you, it's like a cardboard guy that's kind of always turning one way and then the other the whole time. Because,
it's like a 2D thing.
Yeah, it's a 2D thing in a three-dimensional world, so, it's hard to get...
Sounds like a horror game, honestly.
Yeah. But,
you're like, it's a shooter, actually. It's terrifying.
It's hard to get headshots when you have that on, though, because...
Yeah, when their head's spinning 360 degrees at Mach 10, yeah.
When you have cardboard mode, because they're two-dimensional, and they're constantly...
Oh, yeah, they're so thin.
And so... But
well, it sounds like a game I would like. It sounds like a horror shooter the way you're describing it, but I'm gonna have to check it out one of these times.
Yeah,
it probably can't be too expensive.
No, it wasn't when I got it. I don't remember what I paid for it, but it wasn't when I got it. So, and
okay,
you can, like I said, it'll be one of my gameplay things on our podcast when I post it. So. You could check it out and see what you think, and you can also create your own maps on it. But you can't have any. Cool. You can't have any outdoor maps for whatever reason. They're all like in contained areas. It almost looks like, so there's always walls. And it's because it's so old. They didn't have the audacity to be able to increase the space. So.
I gotcha.
Some maps that I made should have been bigger, but because of the space, I was limited, so I had to make them how I made them.
Yeah, so, yeah. You're kind of reminded that you're playing an old game,
So,
but yeah, it's cool. I'll watch the video and then I'll have to check it out. Maybe I'll buy it one of these days. But man, we have good topics. So I'll tell you what are we at? An hour and 13 minutes.
40 minutes of Dead Island 2. So, but
hey, it was good though. We had a good discussion.
Yeah.
So, but all right. I know you have more stuff to cover. We will be doing that.
I got to add to the list because I didn't have much on the list anyway. So
okay.
I got to add.
Well, that'll be your homework for next time.
Okay.
All right. Sounds good. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the podcast. I certainly did. Make sure to tell me down below in the comments what you think about Dead Island 2, Hogwarts Legacy, TimeSplitters 2, all that fun stuff.
If you heard of it.
Yeah, have you heard of it? Have you played it? Did it give you nightmares? One of those. Did it give you nightmares, Recon?
Not really, but
okay.
There
you go.
I'm sure if other people saw a giant gingerbread man running at them with a gun, then they probably could have. But whatever.
Yeah, it's just
that's
Gingy
them, not
from
me.
Shrek.
I'm safe.
Yeah, right. Well, that's good.
But
so, all right. Hope you had a good time, guys. Again, it's a long one, so hope you guys stuck with me. Tell me also down below if you made it. Yeah. So leave a like. I will have Recon Trooper's channel link down in the description down below. Make sure to check out his as well. At least watch it for, I don't know if you want to, if you can watch it all the way, but if you guys want to, watch it as well. It's got some cool gameplay, and again, our gameplay is different. So if you enjoyed mine, I don't know if you guys watch these or if you just listen to them, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it either way. Can't wait to do another one. Any closing remarks, Recon?
Not really. Just had a good time like the other ones, and I hope that the next time will be just as good.
I'm sure it will be. I'm sure it'll be even better.
I guess we'll just have to figure out how to manage the time next time, though. I mean, sometimes they're long, but they're good. But other times it's kind of like, whoa, are we this long already? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
I could talk for 6 hours, but my PC's about to die. But
yeah, so. And then
so many topics.
You don't want to die in the middle of the podcast.
No, you don't. You know what I'm going to do next time? I'm going to find a quiz we can take online. That'll be cool.
Oh, speaking of, you didn't do your quiz to me, so I guess you'll have to put that on your topics list.
I know, I forgot. I can't find the paper. I got to find the paper first.
You need paper? You got a computer now, remember? Get with the days.
Oh, yeah.
Or times.
Oh, yeah. Well, I wrote the quiz when I was like 8 years old, but anyway. All right, hope you guys enjoyed.
Yeah.
And yeah, again, make sure to subscribe to both of our channels. Highly appreciate it, and thank you guys for watching. Can't wait to do another one, dude, and we'll see you guys in the next video.
Later, folks.